Was there a time in you thought that cybersecurity could become your path and thought like, this is what I'm going to do?
I drove for 16 hours. I drove for a while that Uber had to send me out of the app.
Here.
So he now told me, why don't you do cybersecurity? I've never done anything technically in my life. So I never thought cybersecurity was for me. Now he told me that you can do cybersecurity even though you've not had experience or any technical background. He sent me some YouTube videos and then I started watching. I tell you, I like to engage my passengers. We got talking and he said he came for a conference. So, and then now he's going back to his base. I'm like, oh, that's good. What do you do? He said cybersecurity. I said, wow.
Sometimes the biggest barrier between people and opportunity is simply what they believe is possible. Today's guest has built his work around breaking those barriers. As a tech entrepreneur and author, he has helped countless individuals transition into cybersecurity careers, many of them without the traditional tech backgrounds. But every mission begins with a story of risk, discovery, setback, and belief. And today, we are unfolding that story. Welcome to Unfolding with Ewaji. I am your host. Let's unfold the journey of Tolu Michael. Thank you so much, Tolu, for sitting with me today. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me here. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's get right into it, Tolu. So tell me, before the brand, before the success, before the Vava Voom right now that we see uh, on
Yeah.
social media about you,
Hmm.
as a person, as a tech person, cybersecurity person, and as a very successful entrepreneur. Who was Tolu before all of this? Like, tell us, take us back to growing up. What experience also shaped you into becoming what you are today and who you are today?
Thank you. That's a very good question. But I think you just prophesied when you said as a successful entrepreneur. So I think that's a prophecy and I take it. But thank you. So I think growing up, I was very curious, I would say, and observant. And I would also say that I have been very hungry. So yes, so those were kind of innate attributes, and for me, not just for success, but understanding why things worked right the way they did, or how do we get from point A to B, right? Because I grew up watching people around me like they work incredibly hard, like my mom, like my dad,
Wow.
and several people that lived with us then. You know how it is back home where, growing up, you have several uncles and cousins living with
And
you.
yeah.
Yes. So I know how they work very hard. So that created a kind of, I would say, deep question in me like, is there a better way? Right? And that question never left me, even till today. Whatever we're doing now, I always ask myself, I ask my team, is there a better way? Right? So that drove me to look beyond what I was doing, what the environment afforded me to build a kind of mental model for how the world actually rewards people. And I think it's also important to state that, contrary to what most people would know about me, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon at all. I grew up
Wow.
with something I would say more valuable than that, which was the fact that with hard work and putting God first, you can achieve anything, right? So I think for me, those were the attributes, yeah, that really shaped who I am today.
And that's so beautiful to hear because, like you said, contrary to what a lot of people see and know about you on social media, it is very different hearing all this that you said about yourself and your background. Because honestly, I would say if they asked me right now off the top of my head, what do you think this guy is, or what do you think his background? I would have said, oh, he's a rich kid.
Yeah.
You know, is someone who has always had a good head on his shoulder from, from
Yeah.
inception. And it's beautiful to also know that you had all these beautiful, intelligent people mindset that shaped you into becoming who you are today. And that's amazing. I love it. Did you always have this entrepreneurship mindsets looking at all of this, or is it something that developed over time for you?
Well, I think I would say I've always had it, and I will tell you why. Um, when I was in Lagos, I worked, in Alausa. Those in Lagos back home in Nigeria would understand. It's like when you work in the government office, right? The state government office. Even at that time, I was doing several businesses. There was a time I wanted to develop a cassava machine to
Wow.
process cassava, right? Get
To
cassava
make
from,
Gary.
yeah, and several other ethanol
Several
and several other products. So I wrote the I think it's called feasibility studies. I did all sorts. At that time, I was also helping some people, those who wanted to go to Canada, those who wanted to go to the US. I was doing that as well. I was doing several businesses, including construction. So I would say it has always been there, right?
Amazing.
So I wouldn't say that I didn't have it. It's always been there. And it's not, I'm going to be sincere. It was born out of the fact that I've got to survive, I've got to live, I've got to thrive. So that has always been there. And there's this dissatisfaction that comes with the fact that you seeing what could happen, but you see your current reality and the things that you're faced with. You always want
Right.
to find other things to do to get out of that situation. Those were the things that pushed me into, doing that. And trust me, it's been ups and down,
And
but
down.
yeah. And also, when I discovered that I could do something that would outlast my own personal effort, at that moment, it's there's no going back. Yeah.
The sky is your starting point.
Hmm.
And I that takes me back to what she said earlier about staying hungry, about you being hungry. So it obviously means that you were not you were not handed success actually. You went out there and tried to make a good living and a good life for yourself, and that's beautiful. And that's to say that, is that to say that you're also a travel agent at some point in your life? Because you said you talked about helping people to come to the US, and oh wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
I've done a lot, right? So my
Oh wow.
life, I will categorize my life into different stages.
Okay.
Before I went to college, I was doing all sorts of job, worked with in Nigeria, where they call beer parlor.
Yes,
You
of
can't call
course.
it lounge. Lounge is too
No,
elite. It's too
it's too
touche.
elite for it.
Yeah, I worked in a beer parlor. I worked in a bakery. I
Oh
was what
wow.
they call motor boy in a bakery. So I would pack the bread, put it in the bus, follow the driver, go distribute. I worked in a computer center where I first learned how to type. I did all sorts. So that is number one. Number two is when I was in college, right? The one I just described was proud to me getting to college. And then when I was in college, I did all sorts of jobs as well. Like
In
all sorts
college.
of jobs right in college because I saw myself through school. So
Ooh.
after that, then got a job. That was when I got fully into, having businesses, trying to do one thing, whatever I could find, I'm doing it. As long as it's bringing in money, I'm doing it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's always been there.
And that's amazing. That's a beautiful story. It's very rare to find someone in, I don't know to say in our generation, being this like,
Hmm.
having this kind of mindset. Most of us were mommy's daughter, mommy's girl,
Yeah.
daddy's girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful to know that you had that kind of background. But let me ask you, was there a point in time where you thought that this potential that you have was something that you couldn't leverage on, or that you couldn't expand on? And was there any time that you felt like there would be a setback, or you felt aback a little bit on chasing those dreams and all of these things that you've talked about?
Well, short answer, yes. Right?
Oh wow.
And I think anyone who tells you they never, like at any point in time, doubted themselves is either lying or they've not taken enough big risk. Right? There were seasons where the vision was clear, like crystal clear, but the results were coming in slowly, right?
Slowly.
And also the fact that people around me question whether this was real. You get what I mean? And the hardest part of this wasn't external doubt. No, it was managing that internal dialogue that you have
Internal.
with yourself,
Yeah.
maybe around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. When the numbers were not moving, you're checking your account, you're checking that you've got to make payroll. You're checking that you've got to do so many things. So, yes, it has happened. But what kept me going was separating my identity. Now, what I'm saying now took time, separating my identity from the outcome. I don't want to tie myself to a result.
To
Once
result.
once you've been able to differentiate or separate yourself from the result of your effort, of the value you're creating, you can keep going, right? It's tough, yes. I am not the result. I am the one building, right? So, and builders, what do? They keep building.
They keep building.
Doesn't
They
matter
keep
what the
building.
result is. You
They
just
keep
keep
building.
building. So the short answer is yes, but we keep going. Yeah.
That is really powerful. I love that. And I also learned from that as well. I can tell that you're going to drop some very good germs here today, and I'm so excited
I
to
hope so.
I'm so excited for this. So let's merge that question now into what you currently do, cybersecurity. Was there a time a time that you thought that cybersecurity was like you realized that it could become your path? And what happened in that moment? Because I know I don't think you have that background. You've mentioned a lot of things that you did in the past, and then now you're a cybersecurity boss. Like everywhere we talk about you or we
Yeah.
hear about you, the next thing we hear besides your name is cybersecurity. Like
Yeah.
it's a given. So was there a time that you sat down and then thought about it, like this is what I'm going to do and this is going to be a great part for me?
All right. Thank you. I would say yes and no. Yes, because I met someone in church who told me about it.
Ooh.
Yes. No, because prior to that time, I didn't know anything about cybersecurity. So
Yeah.
when it was a Sunday morning, got to church. I did on a Saturday, previous to that, prior to the Sunday, I did my regular 16-hour shift. I drove, we're doing Uber, Amazon delivery. So I had driven for about 16 hours. I was tired,
Ooh.
dragged myself, went to church. Now, a friend of mine is a big brother, but, we call ourselves friends. At that time, it was my Sunday school teacher. So
Okay.
after we had a Sunday school, before we move into the regular service where they do the, singing and all that, we got talking and he saw that I was tired. So I told him about what I had done a day before, like on Saturday, how I drove for 16 hours. I drove for a while that Uber had to send me out of the app that I've
Oh my
I've
God.
exhausted my time.
You have exceeded your
Yeah,
limit for today. Get out
yeah.
of here.
So he now told me, why don't you do cybersecurity? It was like, what are you talking about, cybersecurity? I've never done anything technical in my life. So I never thought cybersecurity was for me. Now, he told me that you can do cybersecurity even though you've not had a experience or any technical background. All right. So he sent me some YouTube videos and then I started watching. Lo and behold, that same week, I picked someone from downtown Chicago. The person was going to the airport. Lo and behold, the guy was also a cybersecurity professional.
Wow.
So
That was good, right? Alignment.
I tell you. So we got talking because I like to engage my passengers, except those who don't want to talk. We got talking, and he said he came for a conference. So, and then now he's going back to his base. I'm like, oh, that's good. What do you do? He said cybersecurity. I said, wow.
Wow.
Then he told me about GRC, right? Now,
Oh.
before then, I'd read about GRC. I watched all the YouTube videos and everything after
Mm-hmm.
my friend sent me the links. So I was already thinking, okay, I'm going to do pen testing. Now, when he told me about GRC, and at that
Mm-hmm.
time, it was making $145,000 a year.
A
I
year.
said, this is it. Like, nobody can say, this is it. That was when I knew I'm going to do this. And then
Hmm.
he encouraged, he was the second person. So I told him, I said,
Mm-hmm.
a friend had already told me about cybersecurity in church, and he sent me some videos that I'm watching. And I said, go
Mm-hmm.
for it, man. It's very good. You this, and he encouraged me. That was it. So then I studied for 4 months and got 3 jobs at a time.
You did 3 jobs.
3 jobs. So I
And these
studied.
are six-figure jobs, right?
Yeah, the first one, I can mention their names now because I didn't sign NDAs in the past. Wintrust
Okay.
Bank,
Wow.
United Airline, and Shoprunner.
Wow.
Those three.
Amazing. And those
Yes.
are big companies
Yeah,
you
I
just
got three
mentioned.
jobs at a time. And
Hmm.
because those days there wasn't like anything like remote role, so I had to choose one. And
Oh, okay.
one thing I like people to get here is this is someone who had not done anything technical before, and I studied with full time driving Uber 4 months.
Hmm.
So if
That's
that
to
would
say you have
encourage
no
anybody there,
excuse.
yeah.
You have no excuse. You have no excuse. So, I mean, beautiful story. My question to you about that is this. What do you think would have been different about you right now, your life, your trajectory, if you had not listened to those two people, the person at your church who is like your uncle you mentioned or a friend you call him, and this Uber driver? What do you think it would have that what do you think would have been different about your story right now? What do you think you would have been doing right now?
Well, I think I would either be, nobody has ever asked me this before. So,
Wow.
so here's the thing. Before then, before I started the cybersecurity thing, I was naive about what I wanted to do. I will tell you why. I
Tell
was
me.
always saying I wanted to do investment banking.
Hmm.
Investment
That's
banking.
a good one.
How it's a good one, but would I have done it? That's the thing, right? I was always talking about investment banking, investment banking, investment. Why? Because I read a lot about jobs that make money, and investment
Hmm.
banking was like top. And I said, this is
Hmm.
what I was gonna do. Now, at that
Hmm.
time, before I could do that, I must have my MBA. How am I going to have
Hmm.
MBA here? Because at that moment, I didn't even have my green card at that time. I only had work authorization. So how was
Oh,
I?
that would
How
have
would
been
I
a
be able to do
barrier.
it? Yeah. How would I be able to do that? And there are
Hmm.
several other certifications like ACCA, FCA, and all
Right.
that. If you want to
Right.
break into that
Mm-hmm.
profession, so
Okay.
honestly, I would be doing something, but it probably would. I'll probably not be here. That's the truth.
Hmm. That's the truth. That's the truth. And I think that's the logical answer to it. You probably wouldn't be here because
Yeah.
you won't be here telling us about cybersecurity. You won't
Hmm.
have all this knowledge you have about cybersecurity. And of course, that barrier that you mentioned is a very big one.
Yeah.
Being wanting to go to school but not having your green card, we would get there.
Hmm.
And I feel like you also said something about the fact that you didn't stop, really, even though you didn't have that green card, which would have been a barrier for you. You didn't stop. That's what I see from all of this. You knew what you wanted, and you definitely went for it, and that is so beautiful. And let me ask you this question about cybersecurity and
Mhm.
tech in general. So for people who want to go into tech, they don't have the technical background, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
What is it that has made you believe that not having the technical background in IT, of course, can make you not having that, you can still thrive in cybersecurity? What is it that you can say? Like, we all know right now from everything you've said so far that you didn't have that background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
didn't have that background. So for someone else, what is it that you think that you can give to them as an advice that would help them thrive without having that background in cybersecurity?
Thank you. That's a very good question. How someone told me, a friend told me, you can do it even without your technical, even without having technical background.
Right.
After, so here's the thing. Someone can tell you something and you decide to run with it. Or someone can also tell you something and you ignore it. We respond to information differently. Some act on information and some just store it in their brain till I think it's been said that human we have 7 days to keep something in our brain and then we forget. Now, for me, when he told me, I went back home. Remember that a day before I had worked like I was gonna die. See,
Exactly.
if you do not have anything that is driving you, no matter the amount of information you're given, you're not going to do anything with it. So on my way home, if I didn't wait till I got home, on my way home, guess the car was driving 1998 Toyota Camry.
Whoa.
In
And this was in what
Nigeria,
year? I'm sorry.
this was 2016.
Okay.
In
That's a long
Nigeria,
difference.
we do call that pencil. That's what they call that vehicle.
Toyota pencil.
Yes. So I turned on my phone. I started watching YouTube videos from church that Sunday. So how did I know I could do this? Because number one, he told me. Number two, I was ready to give it whatever it took. Now here's the shocker. I didn't start with GRC. GRC is the less technical part of cybersecurity, but I started with the most deeply technical part, pen testing. Yes.
Wow.
So when I got
Wow.
those 4 jobs, I got my job as a pen tester. It's only
Wow.
one that gave me a job as a security engineer. And this was after 4 months study. 4 months.
Four
So
months.
um, I started with technical side of cybersecurity. How did I know that anyone can do this even without technical background? And I'm talking about the GRC part. Now, like I told you, I didn't start with GRC. I started as a pen tester, moved to security engineering. And it was a startup. We're about 250. I was the only black, like the only black in the entire organization. And
That
then
means
there
a lot.
was there was this call for compliance department that we want to, set up a compliance team because we're going to do our PCI and I think SOC 2 at that time. And I told my director, don't worry, I got you. I'm going to add it to my job. That was how I started in compliance. That was how I got to know GRC. And I'm like, this is GRC? There's nothing technical about this, right?
Wow.
And then some friends of mine in Chicago wanted to get into cybersecurity as well. And then I told them, guys, you can do this. This is not even technical. Like, this is not technical at all. And that year, I think it was in 2018, I helped about 3 people land GRC job, and that was it. So nobody could tell me otherwise from that experience.
That's beautiful. I'm telling you, I'm getting blown away with all of this. I'm telling you, like, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Just for clarity, for the sake of people who are not so good with the abbreviations and all of
Mhm.
that. I mean, I know the meaning, but just for anyone else listening out there,
Yeah.
what does GRC stand for?
Okay, thank you.
Because I know you
GRC,
mentioned it more than twice now.
yes, GRC is governance, risk, and compliance. So
Compliance.
basically, governance, just as the word, governance is how you govern your security architecture, your security posture in the entire organization. Risk is looking at what are you susceptible to? What are the risks, either you or your vendors? How do you manage them? Which one do you accept? Then compliance, basically, what are the regulatory things that you have to comply with? Are you doing what you say you're doing, your policy? If there's audits, can you give evidence that you're doing it? So that is compliance. Governance, risk, and compliance.
Compliance. Awesome, awesome. So, with all of this that you've said about GRC, a little bit about cybersecurity, what do you say to people who still feel that after you've broken it down this much, and also let us know that there are definitely parts of it that are not technical? What do you say to individuals that feel like, with all these things he has said, I still don't feel like I'm smart enough. I still don't feel like I can do this. It still sounds a little bit technical to me. What do you say to those kind of people? Just to like doubting Thomas, like we say them in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you say to them?
Okay, thank you. So this is what I would say. Smart enough. That was smart enough is a myth. And again, this is me saying it. It's a myth invented by people who needed you to stay small. The more you believe that you're not smart enough, the better we'll feel in our own eyes. Cybersecurity certification exams like Computer Security Plus and all that, they do publish their pass rate, right? The last time I checked, I think Computer Security Plus has close to about 70 to 75% pass rate. And this is among those who prepare adequately. Now, what that means is out of 10 people, 7 to 8 people would pass. Out of 100 people, 70 to 75 people would pass, right? So what that means is the problem is not intelligence, it's preparation, and if you're consistent with this. So being smart enough is a myth. When there's this thing I read very recently that people say I don't feel ready. Being ready is not a feeling, it's a decision. Once you decide that I am ready for this, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I've seen in our institution, I've seen someone who used to work as a security person in New York, single mother in her late 40s, got 2 cybersecurity jobs in less than 60 days. One of our fastest students to get a job, Miracle, she's a music professor. She got a job in 38 days. She joined us and got a job 38 days. Miracle. So the fact
Her
is,
name speaks for her.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I use those two, and we have people from social sciences, HR, nurses. I use those examples to say that there's nothing like being smart enough. You just have to
Right.
decide to be ready. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And that's true. And this also applies to, just for people listening, this applies to not just cybersecurity. It applies to anything that you put your mind to doing in this life. There is no such thing as being smart enough. In my own opinion, with how far I've come in life, I don't think, like you said, I feel like it's not being smart enough. It's making the decision to do it. Like I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna put my mind to it, the effort, and like you said earlier as well, the determination to wanting to achieve that stuff. You went from listening to someone talking about cybersecurity that you've never heard about to watching YouTube videos. Like these are even things that you have easy access to. Like you can easily go on YouTube, Google, and search for anything. It's even much easier now. There's AI chat GPT that would give you, a breakdown of whatever it is that you set yourself to getting or achieving.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Tulokwe. And I'm going to ask you this. You're already building a platform and you're teaching people that they can do cybersecurity. You can achieve it. We've had testimonies of 38 days with Miracle. We've had testimonies of the 40-year-old lady who got 3 jobs or whatnot. what is it that you feel like could be resistance that people would face? I know we've touched on people not being ready to do it, not preparing, or not being decisive about doing it. What other resistance do you think? Now, I'm asking for not just for people who have the opportunity. I'm also asking now for immigrants, people who just came into the country, people who live outside the country. What resistance do you think they can face, they can possibly face, and how do you think they can tackle it?
Thank you. First thing first is the internal resistance, right? Let's deal with that first. If you believe, you have to believe in yourself first before anybody believes in you.
Of course.
So first thing first, deal with the internal resistance. Like nothing should tell you that you can't do this. Nothing should tell you that you're not built for this. Nothing should tell you that you're not ready for this. And nothing should tell you that you're not worth doing this. That's number one.
Powerful.
Yeah. So once you've dealt with the internal, then there's external resistance. And these are people around you, your friends, your spouse, your family. They will tell you, oh, are you sure you can do this? Oh, you don't have technical background. Oh, you need to go to school and study cybersecurity. They will come with all sorts of genuine reasons to them why you should not do it. So that's the second resistance. Now, the third one, now let me talk about how to deal with that. You need to understand that your journey is peculiar to you. They are not seeing what you're seeing. They're not going there with you. So you need to understand that to know whatever they're saying is basically an indication of their own insecurity and not yours. So allow them deal with that without casting aspersion on you that you cannot do it. Now, the other one is the resistance you face in the job market. How do you, I don't like to use the word package, but how do you present your resume? How do you present yourself that you do not start feeling inadequate, that you don't start developing imposter syndrome, that this is not for you. Basically, I'm going to tell you one thing. Whatever your experience is, if you've done communication, you've solved problems in the past, you've managed teams, doesn't matter, you've managed a school, you've taught, you've done anything, you can transfer all that into GRC. For instance, if you've taught maybe your team or school or whatever, you can translate that into security awareness education. It's transferable. You just have to learn to present what you have done, your experience, present it in a way that they can see that this is basically what we do in GRC. So if you've done all this, definitely you can do this. Yeah. So just to summarize, those are the three forms of resistance I believe that you face. You see, the rest, you can deal with them, either to study, either to basically spend time learning. You can deal with all that. But the internal one, deal with it first. The external one, your spouse, your friends, your family, deal with that. And then the job market.
The job market. And oh my God, I have heard three things now from what you've said, and that is the internal one, which is the first one that you have to deal with. That's about you. That's a you thing now.
Yeah.
Go deal with that first. And then the next one is the external one, which is very important because I kid you not, a lot of people feel so good about themselves, feel confident about themselves, feel like I can do this thing. And it takes just one person, if you don't have that mindset of your own, to bring you down, to just put that spirit of doubt in you to say, cybersecurity, I don't think you should do it though. Don't you think that thing is saturated?
Yeah.
Don't you think, all those kind of little bit of discouraging that person, and then they're back to square one. And I see that a lot. I have a lot of friends that, for example, would want to go into nursing, IT, and then they hear, oh, nursing, don't do it. Oh, I hate bedside. For the for a lack of a better phrase of word, to use the word it, I don't like bedside nursing. I don't like sort of nursing. And then you're left with little to no option when it comes to nursing, and then you're back to square one. You're thinking about what next to do.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity. Oh, should I really do that? I heard it's really hard. When you get on the job, you can't do it. You're gonna keep paying your way through. They're gonna fire you in 2 weeks after you get the job. You have to block your ears to the external voices that would try to set you back when you put your mind after you put your mind into, this is what I want to do and nobody can tell me nothing, I'm going to get it. And the third one that I hear you say, which is also very important, is the resistance you get from job markets. Now, I have a story of someone who I know that applies to over 50 to 60 jobs in a day.
Wow.
50. This guy will literally tell me, Muji, I don't apply to 50 jobs today. I don't know. Nobody's going to call me back. And they keep getting this same, oh, we've moved on. We've moved on with another person. We've moved on with someone whose job, whose resume better aligns with our needs.
Yeah.
And this shouldn't. I am saying this to say that this shouldn't be a barrier. We know that it can be tiring applying to jobs because you want to apply to a job. The first thing that should come to your mind is that I have to tailor my resume to the job description, for me to be able to at least get ahead of a lot of other people to start with. And
Yeah.
imagine doing that with several jobs that you have
Yeah.
to apply to. So we also have to build that mindset, knowing that no matter what is out there, I am going to get it. I'll keep trying and I'll get the jobs. And that's a very valid, those are very valid points that you have made. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I want to ask you about this money talk right now. Let's talk money.
Okay.
When it comes to cybersecurity, IT jobs in general, it's said, it's a well-known gist, I would say now, that it's a fast track to getting six figures, to making six figures.
Yeah.
What is the story, or what is it that is a story that is untold about that journey of making six figures in IT field? Like you said, I think you mentioned someone who made 145K. And a lot of people, when they hear this now, that's their first train of thought, like, oh, I want to go make that kind of money. Are there jobs that would pay you less when it comes to that, or when it comes to IT generally, or cybersecurity in particular, or is this just a general thing you're set in stone that once I apply for a cybersecurity job, I'm getting high or the top six figures? What's the story behind it?
Thank you. That's a very good question. So it's important that we look at tech holistically, right? To some people, when they're getting into tech, they start with help desk. Depending on your location, help desk probably pay you $45,000 to $65,000 a year. Now, if you're getting into cybersecurity, we have entry-level roles as well in cybersecurity. Like I mentioned, tech support. Isn't that tech? That's tech too.
Yes.
But doesn't pay $100,000, doesn't pay six figures. Same thing, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity has entry level. The entry level roles for cybersecurity will probably pay you between $65,000 to $85,000 a year.
Okay.
All right. It's when you apply for mid-level roles, talk about GRC analyst, compliance manager, risk analyst, risk specialist, privacy analyst, roles like that are not entry level. That is when we're talking about 120, 125, 130 and above. And there are some, we've seen a student that got a job paying $60,000, one of our students. And one thing we used to do is when you get jobs like that, we encourage you not to take it. right?
Okay.
Yeah, because we prep you for the mid-level role. Now,
Oh, I see.
he took it. And after 2 months, he got another job. And guess what? 150K in California. So he left that one and started the one of 150K. We have another student who got a job, 85,000. She didn't even tell us. She rejected it. Right out. Yeah. And they gave her another offer. That was $105,000. And then she took that.
She took
So
that.
the point I'm making is the stories that you don't get to hear are number one, the toiling, the 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 reading, the interviews, the applications, the sitting on the desk for hours searching for jobs, applying, tailoring your resumes. You don't get to hear that. You don't get to hear how you negotiate the salary. You don't get to hear that you have to do first phase, second phase, third phase, some
Third phase.
for fourth phase of interview. I remember when I was going to get a job with Shopify, I was dropped on I think on the seventh phase of the interview. Now, if I had
Seventh
gotten,
phase.
yeah, Shopify. If I had
Wow.
gotten that job, I won't tell people I went through all that. I would just say, oh, I got a job. They're paying me this so amount. The job was very, very good. So those are the stories you don't get to hear. And people
Yeah.
don't just get into cybersecurity and start making six figures. You need to know what level, what role. If you're getting in, if you're starting with the entry level roles, you don't expect to make 100K plus. No, except of course maybe big tech like Fang or TikTok. Yeah, maybe they can
Yeah.
pay you that. But the regular, Fortune, even Fortune 500 company, they're not gonna pay you six figures for entry level. So those are the things that people do not know. People just hear six figures, but they don't know the stories and what it takes, and then the level. And why am I emphasizing on the level?
Levels.
The expectations for someone getting mid-level role, they're quite different from entry level. Entry level, there are some things that they can overlook, right? There's something they expect you not to know anything, right? But mid-level, you can't get away with some things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you for that clarification. That's a very good clarification because a lot of people are waiting to apply for a cybersecurity job now or IT job, and then next thing they want to hear is we're offering you six figures, without even considering what
Yeah,
role
it doesn't
in
work that way.
particular do you know did you apply to, and what knowledge do you have to go give to them by the time you get employed for that
Yeah.
role that you have applied to. So can you tell me the difference? Talk to me about this. The difference between someone who is going to be successful and someone who is going to quit. And what do you think anyone trying to get a job within this space should expect within 1 year,
Okay.
a 1 year time frame?
Well, okay. Very good. So number one, someone who is going to succeed and someone who is going to quit. The one who is going to let me just say to differentiate both. Accountability to someone beyond yourself. If you're going to succeed, you've got to remain accountable. If you're going to
Right,
succeed, and it is not only in cybersecurity, trust me, it's in anything. I have a
right.
mentor who I do tell my team that my mentor will share tough love. Why did I say that? Or why do I keep saying that when I talk to my team? If I'm talking to him and I say, we're going through this and I don't know, he will tell me, you're stupid. Why are you doing this? Or he would just say, who do you think you are? Why are you doing that? Right? Now, I'm accountable to him, right?
Right.
Whatever he tells me, because he's someone that I want to get to where he is. And he has empirical evidence to show that here is the scar. I've gone through this journey. So if
Right.
I've gone through it, I can also hold your hand
Hold
to
your
take you
hands.
there. So, I agree when we have that conversation. So you've got to be accountable. Number two is the ability to delay gratification. Past that point of initial comfort. That initial comfort, like maybe when you just got something, like you feel you're clearly comfortable and you want to relax. And no, 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 no. You can't do that. You've got to keep, you've got to,
Okay.
like, see, the time to keep going hard is when you just succeeded. So you just got a job.
I love it.
That is the time to now go harder. That is not the time to relax, right? No. And I think number three, I'll just give three reasons. Number three is having a clear why. Why do you want to do it? If your why is not strong enough, if it's not clear enough, trust me, you're going to quit, right? Once at the touch of slight discomfort, you're gonna quit because your
You
why is
quit.
not strong.
It's not strong. It's not
Yeah.
strong. Amazing. Oh Lord. That is so powerful. I'm telling you, that's really powerful. If your why is not strong enough, you will quit for
Yeah.
sure. For sure you will quit. So that why has to be like a driving force
Yeah.
for you. Like, this is the reason I'm doing this. You want to say something?
Absolutely. Yeah. The second part is the 1 year. What should they expect in 1 year? Going from my own experience,
Right.
when you get a job, your first 1 year is when you bury yourself in the job and in the things that would form a solid foundation. Two things basically: getting good at the job and getting certifications or getting certified. Let me give you my own example. When
Okay.
I got my first job, I was working in downtown Chicago. I would then, because of parking, I didn't want to pay $20 a day for parking because we're using Merchandise Mart. Those listening, if they know Chicago, they know Merchandise Mart. It's a very popular place where you have a lot of tech companies there. So I would take the train. I lived in the suburb. I would take the train to the office. I would take the train back home. I got home around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. I, have my shower, eat dinner. From there till 1 a.m., I'm on my desk.
Wow.
From then till, this is not an exaggeration, I did it so much so that my friends were telling me that I was working like a beast. Yes. My friend said I work like a beast. My wife said I work like a slave. I'm sorry, I can say that here. You know why? Because I know this is the time for me to form an identity. That's one thing people don't know. That 1 year, you're forming your identity at that moment. What you do in those months, in those weeks, in those days leading to the 1 year mark will form the bedrock of your career. So that is not the time to relax and chill and go on I mean, you can go on vacation. I don't want to knock that. But you've got to go all in at that time. Number two is certification. So when I got a job, I had Security Plus, I had Certified Ethical Hacking, and then I had CHFI, that is Hacking Forensics. I had three. That 1 year, I did three more. Caesar, I did CISM, and I did CISSP, and that's the highest one, right? So basically, from there, it's all the way up. Yeah.
Amazing. All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
Ah,
it. So let me ask you, Tolu. It's really, I can't say this enough. It's an interesting episode with you, and I'm getting very fulfilled with knowledge. And I love it.
thank
Thank
you.
you. So a lot of people want to change careers, but they
Mm.
feel very stuck. They feel very stuck. From what you have seen so far with your growth, how far you've come,
Mhm.
especially having that background, Nigerian background, from a beer parlor boy, you
Mhm.
know, to all the things that you've been through, even coming into this country and at some point not having the right papers to be
Mhm.
able to progress or build yourself. What is it that you see that is the biggest mental barrier and also like maybe economical barrier for people that are stuck in that angle or that area of wanting to change careers?
Thank you. Well, to talk about mental barriers, I would say that this might sound very shallow, but I think it's comparison, and I will tell you why.
Okay.
You're comparing yourself or measuring yourself against people with a 10-year head start in a new environment, and then you're wondering why you're behind. Of course, you're going to be behind. There's a popular people do say this on Twitter that if you're born in Nigeria, life is leading you 10-1. They joke with that, but to some extent, you can find some truth in that.
In the
You find yourself in a foreign land. You find yourself in a land where you've got to start all over again. This mental barrier is basically measuring yourself against people who have been here before you or who were born here before you. They've got the head
exact.
start. Some of us didn't come here with a green card. Some of us came because of marriage. Some of us came because some of us came with student visa, right? So you cannot compare yourself with those who were born here or those who have been here way ahead of you, because they are leading you. Now, once you are able to understand your place, that okay, these guys, I cannot compare myself with them, to
Right.
have that, you see, that gives some satisfaction that now I
Right.
can I can become and pursue what I want to do without having that barrier that maybe some people are better than you, or some people are they are worth doing this and you are not. Once you remove that comparison, then you can stay in your lane and pursue yours. Trust me,
Right.
and I'm speaking from experience. I remember
Correct.
I told you that Sunday on my way home, I drove Toyota Camry 1991 or 1992 model. There were people in church that were driving Mercedes. People that were age mate or I was older than them. They're driving good cars. They've got six-figure jobs. But even when I'm speaking in Sunday school, I speak up. I didn't care that I'm doing Uber and these guys are doing six figures. I didn't care. They are ahead. They are ahead. So that mental barrier was not there.
Good.
So that is one thing that I can say right off the bat. Just remove comparison. And I'm sorry if this is not a religion thing, but if I can say one thing that, I do understand from the Bible, it says those who compare themselves with themselves, they are not wise. So if you're comparing yourself with other people, you're not wise.
I know.
Because you're going
Wise.
to keep, comparing yourself to them, you're going to keep pushing yourself down. You're going to keep, um, you look yourself, you look so little than you are actually. Yeah. So those form mental barriers because you begin to think that, well, maybe you can't do it. Maybe it's not for you. Not knowing that they're like 10 years ahead of you.
Exactly. 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 And you couldn't have said it any better, honestly. Looking at someone who's been here 10 years and you who got here 2 years ago, you cannot compare the growth. It's not possible. And I say that to say, I love it when I see people who are very humble enough. A lot of people, they come from Nigeria and they had very great jobs back home, like
Mm-hmm.
great jobs.
Yep.
I mean, great jobs, and they will still want to jackpot,
Mm-hmm.
and then come here to start over. But if you let that pressure be upon you, where you see someone who is already driving a Mercedes, and then you want to feel like mentally you should also be where they are. There is no fast route. I always say to success, you cannot take a shortcut. You have to pay your dues and you have to really be diligent when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like just like you drove Uber, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you were drive whilst you were driving Uber, you got that motivation to
Yep.
be who you are today. And
Yep.
that's to speak to people who feel like there are some jobs that are really beneath them. If you were not hungry enough and you didn't see the need to drive Uber just to make ends meet, I don't think you would have met with certain people that shaped you today, that gave you that mental capacity to think that you can do this thing that you're doing right now. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
You know, um, there is this pressure that is on people or us or we that we are abroad, a pressure from back home
Mm.
about making it, being successful,
Mm.
and supporting your family or friends back home. It's standard. It's there for
Mm-hmm.
if you're Nigerian, if you're African, we all have something called home, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there is this pressure that is there for us. What do you think? What do you say to people who let themselves bow to such pressure? Like, oh, you done the America now for 10 years. You never make them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You've been abroad for 10 years. Are you supposed to be so rich? You're supposed to be giving us money. You should have something good going on for you right now. And a lot of people are still struggling. They've been here years and years and they're still struggling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What do you say to people like that who let those kind of pressure get to them?
Oh wow, that's very deep. Thank you. Um, you see, this is one this is one of the most understated conversation, or maybe I should say under conversed, something that we don't really talk about when it comes to mental health crisis for Africans in diaspora. A
Right.
lot of people are they're going through this mental health problem not because of their bill, not because of their own situation, but because of people back home, because of what they want to do back home, because of they couldn't pay maybe their parents or their siblings either rent, school fees, someone wants to have a wedding, all those things.
Yes.
Some are facing that. Number two, some work so hard here to take care of people back home. They're working so hard,
Absolutely.
not because they want to take care of themselves, but because of people back home.
Right.
I can say this because I've experienced it. Now, you know, I think it was 2025 last year. There was this report that says with Nigerians in the US, and I think it's only in the US, sent close to about
Oh yes, I remember that.
$20 billion. Do you know what that means? 20
Absolutely.
billion dollars. That's
Dollars.
not just numbers. No, that's people sacrificing their emergency funds, their retirement savings,
Wow.
even their mental health to carry families back home. The pressure is real. Let's be
It
sincere,
is.
right?
It
It's
is.
relentless and it's really reciprocal in terms of emotional support because they don't know what you're going through. Because we don't, sometimes maybe we don't even do good job in letting them know, right? What I've seen is that people who handle it best, that those who set structured expectations like very early, right?
Right.
Not as a form of rejection, but kind of sustainable support. Like this is what I can do. This is how this is. Like every month, you're not going to get more than this from me. This is what I can afford. But it
Right.
is not easy to do that. Now, to talk about how are they allowing this pressure weigh them down? What would people say? Yeah. What would
That's
people
the
say?
first thing.
That's the first thing. Do you know, Moji, that people are actually afraid of what people will say than their own failure?
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yes, they're afraid of what would people say than them failing. That is why when you're making, say you're making $4,000 a month,
Right.
you know you need to work on your education, maybe certification, maybe some programs, maybe nursing, whatever you want to do. But
Right.
you can't do that because you don't want them to say you can't send money home and then you send money home. Also, you can't do that because you want those who are home think that you're doing well and then you buy things that you don't need. So it's a mental thing. And I don't think what we're seeing on this call can take care of that. You've got to be able to, number one, there's a saying in Yoruba where we come from that says that the day a crazy person sees himself as being crazy, that is the day he regains freedom. That is the day he regains sanity.
Absolutely.
First thing first, you must understand and accept that you have that mental challenge about, trying to look good for people back home. Once you accept that, then you can start your journey to redemption. But first thing first, you must accept it. And how do you know? Take a look, go look at the tools. I don't want to mention any application, so we're not giving them free adverts. Go look at the applications that are used to send money home. Go look at how much you've sent in a month. You can tell that you are under that mental thing. So once you've been able to accept that, then you can start your journey of redemption by setting boundaries, by letting them know what you will do and what you will not do,
Right.
who you are, your situation. Once you start that way, I think you're on your way to being free.
That's so relieving. Like that's statement you put out there is so like it takes away a very heavy burden off me for some reason. And I have two questions in this regard.
Okay.
Does social media play a very huge role in this? And also, how do we set those boundaries without feeling guilty? You know, I'm supposed to send this money home. They need it. But at the same time, I also need that same money for myself. For whatever reason I need the money for. It doesn't matter. I want to use the money to buy myself a gift. And there's also someone back home who is in dire need of that same amount of money that you have in your possession.
Yeah.
How do I say no to those people without guilt, without feeling like, I've done something so awfully wrong to these people? Family, friends, whatnot, you have it. How do you set those boundaries? How?
Thank
and
you.
then I need to know also, I know this. I know the answer to it, but I want to hear it from you. You're so full of knowledge, and I want to hear it from you. I want to hear. Do you believe that social media is part of the problem?
Thank you. I'm glad that you say you know the answer. And the answer is yes, emphatically. The reason is because, and when I mean yes, this is a significant yes. Because when everyone abroad is posting luxury apartments, you're posting new cars, the person who just arrived or someone who is struggling in month 3, they begin to feel like they are the only one failing. Social media pressure, I think it's becoming a reality now, or not a reality. I think it's becoming a common knowledge now. The people know that people do not post their dull moment when they're failing. They don't post this on social media. They post their highlight. So
Correct.
when you compare yourself to highlight of people, you have nobody to blame except yourself. Also, people are not the contents they post.
You can say that again.
Yeah. Why did I say that? What you're looking at is a curated life.
Absolutely.
So If someone has curated contents that you can see, why are you bothering yourself? Let me give you an example. I went to Nigeria in December last year. No, I went
Okay.
in November, came back in December.
Okay.
So I when I'm going to Nigeria or outside of the US, I like to fly first class because I can, like relax and all that.
Relax.
So there's a lady beside me. She's also, Nigerian, going to Nigeria. Now, when we got to Atlanta Airport, we missed our flight, so we had to. They checked us in a hotel, and I saw some later when we got to Nigeria after that encounter, because we had to leave Atlanta the second day. The stress, dragging the bag, going to the hotel, doing all that. When we got to Nigeria, so we got talking, shared, Instagram and all that, and I saw some reels, and I'm like, wow, all I see here is the glamour. Where's the stress? Where is the time that we were like literally screaming at the counter? All those, they're not there, but you can see that life and you'll be like, oh wow, you don't know.
What you
So
went through.
yes, social media has really, really. Number two, people say things that are really not true on social media. You will hear somebody say, oh, I just got to Canada, or my 4th month in Canada, I have my second house. You need to know that people are trying to make money, so they are farming engagement. So they will say anything or post anything to bring engagement.
Right.
So that's that. How do you set boundaries without feeling guilty? I think you can do that by reframe your support. What does that support mean? Reframe it, right? What I mean is sustainable support is better than a significant support that followed by you collapsing. So if you can sustainably support them, you need to have a conversation with them and then let them know, this is the situation, this is what I can do, and this is what I'm going to start doing for you. If you can do that, I think that you can still support them within your means without feeling guilty.
Guilty.
It is when you. So here's the thing. Maybe we should say the truth. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to them. Say the truth. Some don't know that you're driving Uber. Let them know you drive Uber. Some don't know that the 6-figure job you're doing, you're paying mortgage, you have credit card. Let them know, right?
Let them know.
And when I say let them know, maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, not everybody, right? Let them know, and then you can now have that conversation of what you can sustainably give to support. And with that, you're good, right? And this is the last thing. Actually decide to set boundaries. Make that decision.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Decide you want to. There's something about decision that once you decide, something shifts. I don't know why. I think it's psychological. Once you decide, I think there's a part of our brain that agrees with that decision.
Agrees.
And something shifts. So actually decide to set boundaries. Yeah.
Amazing. Decide to set boundaries without feeling any iota of guilt.
Absolutely.
I'm setting this boundary. I don't need to. I mean, I agree with you on telling them the truth and explaining the situation to them. I'm also of the school of thought that I can set my boundaries without having to explain to you.
Because you owe them no explanation.
I don't owe you no explanation. I don't want to give. I do not want to give. I mean, you don't know what I'm going through.
Yeah.
You don't know how many jobs I have to work. You don't know the stress that it puts on me to have to before I'm able to make this kind of money. And then if I want to do something for myself, I don't want to have to feel the need to or the pressure to give you part of that money and then deprive myself. And it's also a psychological thing, honestly. And people back home need to do better, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like,
Yeah.
not to put anyone out there, but I have people back home who constantly sleep in my DMs, and I'm sure I am not alone. Like, Constantly, I post a video, I'm getting a DM. I
Yeah.
need this, I need that. I know that it's hard. I know it's
It's hard
also
here
hard
too.
out here too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's hard. I even feel like it's harder out here because
absolutely.
there is a lot of things that we have to put in place or go through before we're able to earn a living.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, we pay rent, mortgage here monthly.
Monthly.
In
Yeah,
Nigeria, it's an annual thing.
yeah,
The difference is there. But people, like I said, people back home, they really need to do better with these kind of things. They need to also understand. And I always say that until you get abroad, you really don't know what we're going through. And you probably
yeah.
will never understand it. You
And I
probably will
think I
never
think we
understand.
caused it. Those of us in diaspora, we caused it because we make them feel like we've made it.
We've
And
made
the
it.
reason is we're ashamed. We don't want them to feel like we don't want them to think we made mistake by relocating. We don't want them to feel we regret relocating. We don't want them to feel like, oh, I left all those things and then I'm here and I'm regretting it. No, we want them to feel that we've made it. And then we start showing things that are not real. So I
They're not
think,
really.
yeah, we are to blame too.
We are to blame too. So let's take you back a little bit towards the career,
Hmm.
Tolu. A lot of people after they relocate to America, relocate abroad generally, they
Hmm.
tend to want to change careers. I've seen like more people change careers when they get abroad than people who stay on the part where they were back home. So, what is it like starting over? And do you, from your own perspective,
Yeah.
what do you think it feels like starting over? Okay, I had a tech, or no, not tech now. I had a banking experience back
Hmm.
home, and then I'm here in America. I want to do IT cultural, like they're
Hmm.
not completely aligned, you know what I
Hmm.
mean.
Hmm.
Back home I was a teacher, school teacher. Now I'm here in America and I want to do IT. That starting over phase, what does it really feel like? Because you've been through it, so I mean
Yes.
you're a good fit to tell us like what it really feels like.
Thank you. So it feels difficult, it feels hard, and it feels emotionally draining. There's something called occupational mobility. I read a study a while ago that says that over 65% of immigrants they experience significant downward occupational mobility. So what that means is that, and they experience this in their 1 to 3 years of moving abroad. So
Moving
what
up.
this means is you see, meaning doctors, lawyers, engineers, like you said, bankers, driving Uber, working warehouses. In fact, when I was working in a warehouse in Lockport in Chicago, Lockport is one of the southwest suburbs. I was working with 3 Nigerians, 2 doctors, 1 lawyer. After a few
Wow.
months, one of the doctors went back to Nigeria because he couldn't cope. And
Couldn't
I'm talking
cope.
about a doctor who owns a hospital in
Hospital.
around Oshodi. This is not, I'm telling you someone that I know. We were working in a warehouse together.
Wow.
Yeah. But the truth is, it's not failure, right? I call it price of entry. That's what I do tell people. I tell my friends, that's the price you pay for your entry, right? Now, the tragedy is when people let pride prevent them from, um, you know, doing this,
Yeah.
right? Because how much do you want to bring? You're gonna finish it in minutes, right?
Right.
So, is the price you've got to pay for being here. So it's emotionally draining. It's
Right.
it's um it's um it's difficult. It's easier said than done. We're talking about people who now let's talk about even what it does to their mental state.
Mental health.
We're talking about people when they were in Nigeria or wherever they come from in Africa. They probably had a driver, they had a maid, they had security. The company, either they owned their company or where they were working, was responsible for their gas, for their bill, for their travel. and now they are here. They've got to do everything at home. And then they've got to go to work and stand on their feet for hours. Or if you're driving Uber, you know what I used to tell people when I got a job, I told my wife, I said, I'm done saying have a good one. When I
Ooh,
pick a
what's a
passenger
new
and I
one?
drop them, I say, have a good one, have a good one. I said, I'm done saying have a good one.
Saying that.
That's just my experience. So the point is, it is a price that we've got to pay.
Right.
As
Right.
difficult as that is, we don't have a choice. Except you have maybe your trust fund, baby. Yeah.
Amazing. It's a price we definitely need to pay. And you touched on something that I would have asked you next, and that would have been like, does pride really come in when it comes to people accepting some type of jobs? And you already said it, you don't let your pride come in the way. I mean, like I said earlier, a lot of people have it or had it going so good back home before they
Mm-hmm.
moved down here. I have also worked with a lawyer, someone who told me that he was a big time lawyer, like a son or something, back in Nigeria, and came here working
Mm-hmm.
Uber. And
Yep.
when he told me his story, I'm like, wow, you are
Have you heard
humble.
from our celebrities? I mean, it's on YouTube as well. Some of our celebrities, you know, when they get here, some of them they have to do Uber, some they have to do delivery, and they said it that this is what I have to pay my bills. You don't pay my bills for me, so I've got to do it, right? So,
Exactly.
it teaches you humility, right? You
Humility.
just need to know that, well, it's a humbling experience, but I've got to do it, right? So it is what it is.
Let's be honest, Tolu. Do you think every Nigerian or most Nigerians, because everybody cannot leave, do you think every Nigerian, if they had the opportunity, should jackpot? Do you think so?
Number one, every Nigerian will not japa. That's one. Number two, and here's the truth: not every Nigerian wants to japa,
No one wants to jackpot, yeah?
or either for good or bad. Let me explain what I mean. Some they're benefiting from the corrupt system,
Government.
from the
Yeah.
rot. Some are benefiting from it. So people like that, they don't want to leave.
Right.
There are people as well that are doing so well and they believe that if they leave, it will affect them. For instance, skit makers, um, people whose livelihood depends on them being in Nigeria. For
Right.
instance, our gospel artist. I was having this conversation with my wife and was saying, oh, one gospel artist came to our church and my wife said, oh, I thought you relocated it. I said, no, you can't relocate here. How many Nigerian churches are here? How is it going to feed? He can't
The
stay.
audience is back home.
So there are people that will not come. Now, should everybody come? The answer is no. Why? Because if everybody leaves, who is going to,
Right.
make the country good? Do you
Right.
know that? I mean, we just discussed how much we spent or how much we sent to Nigeria last year.
Exactly.
$20 billion.
Billion
Like,
dollars.
how much did Nigeria? How much was the entire GDP of the country in one year? How much did we make? Right? How much was the revenue, rather, not the GDP? How much was the
The
revenue,
revenue.
right, of the country in one year? So, would everybody leave? No. Some
No.
would not leave because of their situation. They're making money legitimately because of their source of livelihood. They need to be in a place where they have a lot of Nigerians. And here's the thing: if you want to make impact, if your impact is crowd dependent, as a Nigerian, you have to go back home
Right. I agree.
because in America, we're not up to a million. We're not. Maybe we're between 500 to 800,000. But in Nigeria, we're talking about over 200 million. So if you want to make impact and your impact is like, having multitude, you've got to go back home. You can't do that here, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Let me take you back to you, Tolu, as a person. Tell me what role as personal branding played in building your credibility as a person, as an individual, and also as someone who teaches cybersecurity and someone who is building a name for himself?
Well, thank you. Um, Personal branding. Before I even talk about what is done for me, let's talk about, should you even brand yourself? Should you have a personal branding? Right now, I feel everybody, if you're watching, doesn't matter if you say, oh, I don't like camera, I don't, everybody, in this day and age of AI, you don't have a choice.
Yep.
I will tell you why. Very soon, very soon, and we're talking about 3-4 years, it is the fact that people know you that will determine what you get. What do I mean? It is not the people that you know, it is the people who know you.
Oh, you.
So personal branding is no longer a choice. Let me give you another example. Still talking about why personal branding is very important because of AI.
Right.
Everybody can build now. Everybody can vibe code any application. What will become very important is distribution, marketing what you've built. What will help you survive and sell whatever you're doing is your personal branding.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
has personal branding helped in any way? Yes, it has. Number one, people get to believe and understand when I'm teaching them or say something about this subject because they've seen me several times talk about it. So they know
Right.
me to be someone who we can say like authority figure when it comes to cybersecurity. So when I'm talking about cybersecurity, I'm talking about career, or I'm talking about tech, or I'm talking about anything in that regard. People want to listen. Number
Right.
two is I've got several calls as well to talk to people or to consult one-on-one about business. And the reason why that happened was because they saw my brand on social media.
Right.
So personal branding is very good. Now, it's not without its challenges. You're going to face
Right.
some challenges. You're going to face some, what do they call it in Nigeria? Dragging. You're going to face it, but you've got to know that you have to be tough. So, um, if I had the opportunity, would I do it again? Yes, but I would have done it sooner. Yeah. So personal branding is very helpful. Do you know that now in America, I go to the airport, especially in Atlanta, and some African Americans would say, "Oh, TM,
I know him. Oh, wow.
African Americans." I'm going to
Wow.
Nigeria and I get to the airport and you see a lot of Nigerians and they're coming to me one after the, "Oh, I know you. Oh, I know you." I remember on my way back from Nigeria, I think I was either 2B or C. So we entered for, so the guys that were coming in, so they'll be, "Oh, TM, oh, I know you." Now we're taking pictures. And then there was a woman beside me on that same, I think she was 2A or so. And she said, "Are you a celebrity?" I said, "No." I said, "No." So
He reached to ask.
one of the guys who took pictures with me now said, "Don't mind him, don't mind him. He's a tech celebrity." Anyway, that's just on the
Oh,
lighter note. So the point is, yes, personal branding is very important.
it
We're
is.
getting to an era where we don't have a choice, but we've got to brand ourselves.
Absolutely. I agree with you. So, what do you think that you will say to people who are afraid to come online right now to show themselves, their skills, or what have you? And do you believe that authenticity is more important than perfection? Like,
Thank you.
be
So here's the
authentic.
thing. Yeah. Um, if you are afraid to come out, are you afraid to come out or you're afraid of what people will say?
People will say,
If you're afraid of what people will say, I get it. It's okay. Or you have to deliver yourself of that. Look, we're all going to leave this world anyway, aren't we?
We
But we
will.
all leave. So if you know that we will all leave this world anyway, so what's the point? Who cares?
Mm,
Do your
mm,
thing. If you
mm,
know that you won't be here forever, this one
mm-hmm.
life, live it. Do what you want to
Leave it.
do. As long as you're not hurting people, you're not destroying
Mm-hmm.
people, do your
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Do your thing. Do
So
your thing.
that's the only, I don't think I should speak more on that because I think that should be enough. If you're
That's
thinking, oh,
enough.
what would people say? Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, they will judge me. Oh, they will think I'm not good. Oh, they will think I'm faking it. Who cares? We will
Who
all live
cares?
here.
Exactly. Exactly.
So if you are watching and you're thinking, I need to do this. Oh, I know I can. Say for instance, you can do
Mm-hmm.
makeup, but you're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
what will people say? You can
Hmm.
braid hair instead of you
Mm-hmm.
to turn on the camera and do it. You're
And do
thinking,
it.
what will people say?
Hmm.
Whatever you can do, and you're thinking, what will
Right.
people say? Just know
Mm-hmm.
you and those people will leave this world one day anyway.
One day, anyways.
There's this analogy I read that in your 20s, you're looking like, "Ah, what will people say?" In your 30s or 40s, you're now looking like, well, they're not even looking at you. And in your 60s, then you now realize that they were not even thinking about you anyway. Nobody even cared.
Hmm.
Moji, let me ask you this question, Moji.
Good.
When was the last time you thought about, not even when, today, have you thought
Mm-hmm.
about the Queen of England who died?
Absolutely not.
This, at one point, this was the most popular,
Talked about. Yeah.
most talked about, most popular,
Mm-hmm.
one of the richest. But today,
Hmm.
if anyone is watching this, prior to them watching this, they've never even thought about Queen of England.
Hmm.
So who are you? Do your thing.
That's a great way to look at it, honestly. After we're gone, and I that makes me want to ask you, what is it that you would want people to talk about you or say about you in the next 10 years? I mean, 20 years, the coming generation. What is it that you would, what path, what, what, what line or what phrase would you want to be known for?
Let me please permit me to say two. Number one,
Good.
he impacted lives. Number two, he gave it
Hmm.
all.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. He gave it all and he impacted, and you are impacting lives because a lot of people can say with their full chest right now that I'm making six figures right now because of Tolu
Because
Michael.
yes.
And that's amazing. And that's amazing. And let me ask you, looking 10 years from now, what do you think cybersecurity would be like? How do you think people should prepare for it? And do you also think, I mean, we all know obviously right now that AI would make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think so?
AI, not will, is AI is already making a difference. Now,
Whether we like it or not.
how do you, as a cybersecurity professional or tech in
Mm-hmm.
general, prepare
Mm-hmm.
for AI? Number
Right.
one, master AI. That's the first
Master
thing.
AI.
Master AI. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you want to be a person of influence in tech
Mm-hmm.
or just saying cybersecurity. You want to be
Right.
a person of influence. What does that mean? You're
Mm-hmm.
putting out what you know. If you're learning
Mm-hmm.
anything, if you're building anything, you're putting it out. You want to be a
Mm-hmm.
person of influence in cybersecurity or in tech. Number
Mm-hmm.
three, right now, all the repetitive tasks are being done with
Mm-hmm.
AI. What do I mean? In cybersecurity, there's something called SOC, Security Operations
Mm.
Center, where Security Operations Center, where they monitor network traffic. Before, it's our job as human to just keep monitoring and get an alert if there's anything unusual. But now
Mm.
we don't anymore.
We
AI
don't.
is taking
AI
care
is
of
doing
that.
it.
Number
Mm.
two, when it comes to analyzing logs, logs is basically the things you get, right? The
Mm-hmm.
evidence you get of what happened in your environment. So those logs, you
Mm.
want to analyze them to see if something has happened that shouldn't happen. Before it will take us time. We're gonna be, passing command line in the in shell language to
Right.
analyze the log. But now
Right.
everything is done with AI.
Ooh.
So those repetitive tasks, you want to move away from there. You want to get into the task that requires human thinking,
Human
requires
thinking.
context, right? So that's the number three thing I would say. Number one, master AI. Number two,
Master
be a
AI.
person of influence in whatever area you've chosen. And number three, do not be one of those who engage in repetitive tasks.
Amazing. That's a good takeaway for the audience. Even myself, I keep that to heart, Let me ask you this final question before I give you a round of trivia. So, what is the misconception, or what is the word out there that you would like to change about your person, about what you do, that is already out there? What is that misconception that you would like to change?
Yeah, I think when people hear cybersecurity in 90 days or cybersecurity jobs in 90 days, they feel that is scam. It's impossible. Um, that's not possible. How can, what I would just like them to know is if you have not joined a thing, or if you don't know a thing, if you've not mastered a thing, those who have mastered it and doing it, to you, it becomes like a mystery. You haven't mastered it, right? When they say someone has gained mastery, what that simply means is that they've done it several times,
Several times.
so much so that it becomes like um, it's just part of them.
Yeah.
Now, because you have gained mastery in a thing, if you're doing it to people, it looks like mystery, and they will say
Right.
it is scam. Let me give you an example. Someone who has mastered how to, let's just say, play drums. Let's use that as an example. Someone who has mastered how to play drums, and someone recorded a music, and you hear that drums, you'll be like, no, that's a computer. And when they say no, the guy said, no, I played it. You'll be like, no, that's a lie. Now, if the guy says, come, let me teach you how to play it that way, you say, no, that's a scam. The reason is he has gained mastery. So he's doing it in such a way that to you, it looks like this is a mystery.
Impossible.
This is impossible. So some people say that from the place of ignorance, or from the place of either they are just uninformed. So what I would tell people is, and this is not only about cybersecurity, about anything at all. Before you call it a scam, please learn about it. That's how we miss so many opportunities. So that's what I would like to correct. Before you say anything is not right, or try to get to know about it first.
Get good insight
Yeah.
into what you're calling a scam. Absolutely. I agree with you, and I hope people listened and heard that from you, from the Tolu Michael himself. Okay?
Flexago, it's your time. Flex it.
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 All right. It's been a very great episode with you, but as a general thing that we do here, we always give trivia questions to our guests just to give it a little bit of fun, take you away from the seriousness,
Okay.
and just let's test your knowledge a little bit about general stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready though? You
Yeah,
ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Don't worry, I have the answers, and I'll tell you the answers if whether
Okay.
or not you get the correct answers. Okay.
Okay.
What is the most widely spoken language in Africa?
I would say Swahili.
Ooh, okay. You're
Did I
giving
get
me.
it?
You did get it. I
Oh,
didn't expect
good.
you to get that. Swahili is the most spoken language. Awesome. Okay. Which African country is the most famous for the Pyramid of Giza? Or Giza. I don't know
Egypt.
what. All right. Wait a minute, what's going on here? You're getting the questions that I thought would be tough. Oh my,
Yeah.
you truly are full of knowledge. Okay. I give up at this point. Or maybe I'll just expect you to get it all at this point. Awesome. That's amazing. So the more you're gonna complete this sentence, the more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I?
I don't know that.
The more you take, the more you leave behind your footsteps.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
The more footsteps you take, the
The
more
more you
footsteps you're
leave
left
behind. That's
behind. All
true.
right. Okay. All right. Let me take you to Nigeria right now.
Okay.
What do Nigerians usually say when NEPA suddenly restores electricity after a long blackout? Scream
Oh,
it
up
out, please.
NEPA. Up NEPA. Everybody knows that.
I've never.
Up NEPA. Yeah.
All right. If you could master any skill in the world today, Tolu, what would it be? This is just this is personal for you.
Neuroscience.
Neuroscience. Is
Yes,
there a
that's
reason behind that?
neurology. Yeah.
Oh wow. People study people's brains, or what is
Yes.
that?
Yes.
That's a lot, though. That's for intelligent people.
Yeah.
That's for intelligent. That's a lot, man. Yeah, but that's beautiful. Amazing. Okay, so finish this sentence. Success to me truly means what? What does success mean to you?
Success to me truly means achieving the will of God for my life. That's success.
Simple and apt.
Yeah.
Love it. The will of God for my life.
Yes.
That's success. How do you know the will of God for your life? Let me ask you.
You know by understanding your purpose, right? Your purpose is tied to the will of God for your life. Yeah.
Amazing. That is powerful. Thank you. The final question. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, and I want you to also generalize it for the younger generation whilst
Yes.
you're answering that. If you could go back to giving your younger self an advice right now, what would it be?
A lot, but let me just say a few. Number one, be courageous. Do not be afraid of anything. Number two, life is unfair. Do not expect everybody to treat you fairly. Do what you have to do anyways. And number three, go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. Thank you. And not just to younger people, to us all as humans as well. We need to be courageous and not be afraid of what people say about us or say behind our backs or whatnot. Stay courageous and go for anything you set your mind to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's been amazing sitting with you, Tolu Michael.
here.
I
Thank
am
you so
so
much.
happy having you. The conversation with you was just not about cybersecurity. I love that it went deeper and we dived into a lot of mysteries, misinformation, our personal lifestyle. You know, we did talk about a lot of stuff that I feel like would be very valuable to our audience, Tolu. And I look forward to having more conversations with you. Matter of fact, I want you to come back
No
at
problem.
some point. I would love for you to
problem.
come back. This was
problem.
really great, and thank you so much for sitting with me.
Thank you
here
for
today.
having me. I'm
You're very
grateful.
welcome.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very
Right.
welcome. Yay! Everyone listening, if there's one thing to take away from today's conversation, it's this. Your starting point does not have to determine your destination. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Unfolding with Ewaji, where every story reminds us that life is still unfolding. If this conversation inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who might need to hear it. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, keep unfolding.